Welcome to the video lectures on course Radiation and Microwave Techniques. We are going through unit number 3, that is transmission lines and waveguides. In the previous discussions of this unit number 3, we have seen what the waveguides are and what are the different types of waveguide. And we have seen the constructional details of the rectangular waveguide and also of the circular waveguide. In this lecture, we will be doing the analysis of rectangular waveguide. Moving on to the contents of today's lecture, we will go through first learning outcomes, then the transverse electric mode and rectangular waveguide, transverse magnetic mode and rectangular waveguide, and at last we will see some of the parameters of waveguide. Starting with the learning outcomes. After completion of lecture, students will be able to analyze the TE and TM mode in the rectangular waveguide and also will understand the concept of dominant mode in the waveguides. Understand parameters of waveguide like cutoff wavelength, cutoff frequency, phase velocity, group velocity, guide wavelength and wave impedance. So starting with the today's lecture with the analysis of rectangular waveguide for the transverse electric mode, and then we will move on to the transverse magnetic mode. You know, the rectangular waveguide is a waveguide which is having a rectangular cross-sectional area. So in the transverse electric mode, if the wave is propagating along the z-axis or the z direction, the longitudinal component Ez is equal to 0 and Hz is not equal to 0. This is the geometry of a rectangular waveguide. Here the waveguide is placed on the xy plane and the wave is propagating along the z-axis. First we will see the boundary conditions for this rectangular waveguide. You know, this Ez is a longitudinal, so on every wall, that is the side walls and the top and the bottom wall, the Ez will be tangential. So tangential component, it is 0 on any of the wall of this rectangular waveguide. Now the Ez is equal to 0 for y equal to 0 and for y equal to b. Similarly, Ez will be equal to 0 for x equal to 0 and for x equal to a. Now consider Ex. Ex is also tangential on the top and the bottom plane of the rectangular waveguide. So Ex will be 0 for y equal to 0 and y equal to b. Same for Ey. Ey is tangential on the side walls of the rectangular waveguide. Ey will be 0 for x equal to 0 and for x equal to a. These are the boundary conditions which are required for analyzing the rectangular waveguide for TE mode and the TM mode. Now, in order to solve for Hz, we will use the Helmholtz equation which we have found from the general solution of transverse electric mode, which is given by this equation. Here Hz is a function of x and y only. So by using separation of variable, we will separate this as x of x and y of y and put this value of Hz of xy in this equation. We get full derivative of this as in this equation, y double derivative with respect to x plus x double derivative with respect to y plus kc square x of x y of y equal to 0. Dividing with xy on both the sides, we get 1 upon x double derivative of x with respect to x plus 1 upon y double derivative of y with respect to y plus kc square equal to 0. But considering this kc square as kx square plus ky square, where kc is under root of k square minus beta square, k is a wave number and beta is a propagation constant. Putting this kc square as kx square plus ky square and using the separation of variables in order to solve this second order differential equation, we get two different equations as a double derivative of x with respect to x plus kx square x equal to 0 and double derivative of y with respect to y plus ky square plus y equal to Now we have these two differential equations. If we solve them, we get x of x equal to a cos kxx plus b sin kxx, and y of y equal to c cos kyy plus d sin kyy. Here this a, b, c, d, they are constants and they can be found by applying the boundary conditions. Now we know hz, which is function of xy, is equal to x of x and y of y. We have now the values of x of x and y of y. If we put over here, we will get hz, which is function of x and y. So the general solution is hz x of y equal to a cos kxx plus b sin kxx into c cos kyy plus d sin kyy. Now here we are not having any boundary conditions in the terms of hz. As earlier we have discussed, we have the boundary conditions in terms of ex and ey. So now we have to convert this hz in terms of ex and ey. We know that any of the transverse component, it can be written in the terms of longitudinal component. We have the general solution of TE mode, this equation of ex and ey we are having. If we take the derivative of hz with respect to y, we will get the value of ex, and here if we derivate this hz with respect to x, we will get the value of ey. So after derivating this, we get this two equations. Now we are having the boundary conditions, and we can apply the boundary conditions to find out the values of a, b, c, d. So applying the boundary conditions, that is ex is 0 at y equal to 0 and b, and ey is 0 at x equal to 0 and a. First we will apply ex equal to 0 at y equal to 0. So put the value of y equal to 0 in the equation of this ex. We get this will become 0 and this will be d, and here we will have some quantity. So some quantity multiplied with 0 plus d, we get d equal to 0. Similarly, if we put ey equal to 0 at x equal to 0, we will get the value of b as equal to 0. For x equal to a, we get this kx equal to m pi by a, and for y equal to b, we get ky equal to n pi by b. Now in this equation of hz x of y, this b and d, it has now cancelled out because the values are 0. So only the remaining term is remained, that is a cos kx x into c cos ky y. So just what we have done is we have replaced this a and c with some constant that is denoted with a, and here m and n, it denotes m denotes the number of half waves in x direction and n denotes the number of half waves in the y direction. Into cos kx of x, we know what is kx is m pi by a, so we have put this as cos m pi x divided by a into cos ky of y, that is ky is n pi by b, so we have put that over here. We got cos n pi y by b into e raised to minus j beta z. So now we know the transverse field components of TE mode, they are given with these equations hx, hy, ex and ey. Now if we put this equation of hz in all these equations, and if we take the derivatives, then we will get the values of hx, hy, ex and ey, and those values will be the transverse field components of TE Mn mode, and they will be as over here. These are the equations that are obtained after putting the value of hz and taking the derivatives. This ex, ey, hx and hy, they are obtained. and we know the longitudinal component, it is hz a mn cos m pi x by a cos n pi y by b e raised to minus j beta z. So now in this all the equations, if we put m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, only this hz term will be present and rest all of the terms they will become 0. So there no ex, ey, hx and hy component will exist. If we put m that is greater than 0, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and n equal to 0, only this ey component, hx component and hz component, they will be present. If we put m equal to 0 and n greater than 0, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, we get ex, then hy and hz, and rest all the terms they will become 0. For m greater than 0 and n greater than 0, that is from 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, we get all these components, that is ex, ey, hx, hy and hz. The mode with the lowest cutoff frequency in waveguide is called as the dominant mode, and the lowest cutoff frequency occurs for TE10, that is when m is equal to 1 and n equal to 0 mode. Now we will apply the same process for the TM mode in the rectangular waveguide. So you know, for rectangular waveguide, if we are having the TM mode of wave propagation, the longitudinal component hz is equal to 0 and ez is not equal to 0. So in order to find out hz, we will first start with the Helmholtz equation from the general solution of TM mode, which is given by this equation. Here again ez of xy is the function of x and y only, so we can use the separation of variable and we will separate it as x of x and y of y and put this value over here in this equation. We get y double derivative with respect to x plus x double derivative with respect to y plus kc square x of x y of y equal to 0. Now again divide by xy on both the sides, we get this equation, that is 1 upon x double derivative of x with respect to x plus 1 upon y double derivative of y with respect to y plus kc square equal to 0. You know kc square is equal to kx square plus ky square. Putting this value over here and by using the separation of variable in order to solve the second order differential equation, and we will get the two equations, that is d2x by dx square plus kx square x equal to 0 and d2y by dy square plus ky square y equal to 0. Now we have this two differential equations, and if we solve these two differential equations, we will get x of x and y of y as earlier we have solved, that is a cos kxx plus b sin kxx, and y of y equal to c cos y plus d sin ky y. We know Ez, which is function of x and y, is equal to x of x and y of y. If we put this value, we will get the general solution of Ez x of y equal to a cos kxx plus b sin kxx into c cos kyy plus d sin kyy. Here a, b, c, d, they are the constants and they can be found by applying the boundary conditions. So applying the boundary conditions, now we have the boundary conditions in the terms of Ez. We know Ez is equal to 0 at x equal to 0 and a, and Ez is equal to 0 at y equal to 0 and y equal to b. Now putting x equal to 0 in the above equation, we get a into 0 into some value, that is and Ez is 0, so we get a equal to 0. Similarly, if we put y equal to 0 over here in this equation, we will get c equal to 0, and if we put x equal to a in this equation, we will get kx equal to m pi by a For y equal to b, we get ky equal to n pi by b. Now putting the value of a equal to 0 and c equal to 0, that is this term and this term, it will get cancelled out, and just this term will remain, that is ez equal to b into sine kxx and into d sine kyy. Just here what we have done is, again we have replaced this b and d with some constant, that is b of mn equal to sine m pi x by a into sine n pi y by b into e raised to minus j beta z. We have the transverse field component of Tm mode given as with this equation hx, hy, ex and ey. If we put this value of ex over here in this all the equations, and if we take the derivatives, we will yield the equations of hx, hy, ex and ey, and those equations will be as shown in the slide. The value of ex, ey, hx and hy, and we know the longitudinal component, it is given with this equation. If m is equal to 0 or n is equal to 0, then ez is equal to 0, and all these components, they will be equal to 0 and none of the component will be present. So the non-propagating modes, they are Tm00, Tm01 and Tm10, and the propagating mode is Tm11, and all the higher modes, they propagate through the rectangular waveguide. Now starting with the last part of this video lecture, that is the parameters of waveguide. The first parameter is cutoff frequency. It is the frequency above which the propagation of the wave occurs through the waveguide and below which there is no propagation. We know it acts as an high-pass filter. It allows only the frequencies above certain frequency to pass. So that frequency is the cutoff frequency, and it is given as fc is equal to 1 upon 2 under root of mu epsilon into under root of m by a whole bracket square plus n by b whole bracket square. Or it can also be written as, you know, this 1 by under root of mu epsilon is c. So fc becomes c by 2 under root of m by a whole bracket square plus n by b whole bracket square. The above equation of cutoff frequency is applicable for TEmn and TMmn mode. Fc is also called as threshold frequency. The second parameter is cutoff wavelength, and it is denoted with lambda c. It is the wavelength below which the propagation of wave occurs through the waveguide and above which there is no propagation. So lambda c is given as 2 divided by under root of m by a whole bracket square plus n by b whole bracket square. For the dominant mode, that is a TE10 mode, at which we get the lowest frequency, cutoff frequency, the lambda c, that is the cutoff wavelength, is equal to twice of a, where a is the width of rectangular waveguide. Third parameter is the guide wavelength, which is denoted with lambda g. It is defined as the distance travelled by the wave in order to undergo the phase shift of 2 pi radian, and it is related to phase constant beta by a relation, that is lambda g equal to 2 pi by beta. So lambda c is equal to lambda naught divided by under root of 1 minus lambda naught by lambda c whole bracket square. Here remember that lambda c is always greater than lambda g, which is always greater than lambda naught. The fourth term is the phase velocity. So phase velocity is the rate at which the wave changes its phase in terms of guide wavelength, and it is given as Vp is equal to omega upon beta, which is greater than omega upon k, which is equal to 1 divided by under root of mu epsilon. Vp is equal to 1 upon under root of mu epsilon into 1 upon under root of 1 minus omega naught upon omega whole bracket square, or it can also be given as Vp is equal to this as a c divided by under root of 1 minus fc by f whole bracket square. And Vp can also be written in terms of wavelength as c divided by under root of 1 minus lambda naught upon lambda c whole bracket square. The next parameter is group velocity, denoted with Vg. Group velocity is defined as rate at which the wave propagates through waveguide. Is given as Vg is equal to c under root of 1 minus fc by f whole bracket square. Or in terms of wavelength, it is written as Vg is equal to c into under root of 1 minus lambda naught upon lambda c whole bracket square. For a free space propagation, this Vg is equal to Vp, that is the group velocity is equal to phase velocity, and Vg into Vp is equal to c square, where c is the speed of light, which is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. The last parameter is wave impedance. It is defined as ratio of transverse electric field in one direction to the transverse magnetic field in another direction at any point in the waveguide. So you know Zg is given as Ex upon Ey, which is equal to minus Ey by Hx. So the wave impedance for TM mode is given as eta under root of 1 minus lambda naught upon lambda c whole bracket square, where eta is 120 pi. Similarly, for TE mode, the wave impedance is given as eta upon under root of 1 minus lambda naught upon lambda c whole bracket square. The last parameter we will discuss is the propagation constant beta. Beta is equal to under root of k square minus kc square. You know kc is kx square plus ky square. So we get beta is equal to under root of k square minus m pi by a whole bracket square minus n pi by b whole bracket square. For k greater than kc, it becomes under root of m pi by a whole bracket square plus n pi by b whole bracket square, and f is greater than fc. Hope you have understood the transverse electric and the transverse magnetic mode in the rectangular waveguide. We have done the analysis of TE and TM mode in the rectangular waveguide. We have seen which are the propagating and the non-propagating mode in the case of TE and the TM mode of wave propagations, and also we have seen the different waveguide parameters like cutoff frequency, cutoff wavelength, phase velocity, group velocity, wave impedance. In the next lecture we will discuss the cavity resonator, and at last we will see the planar transmission line, that is the strip line, in detail. Thank you.